Hi y'all, Joe here with Joe and Coaching, and today we are going to be talking about how systems changed my life and my business as a realtor and real estate agent. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I want to start with a little story. About a year and a half ago, give or take, I had a really big team. Altogether, there were 13 of us kind of running the show of my boutique real estate business. I had salaried assistants and salaried real estate agents, all a part of my team, and a couple other people running around doing farming and just different aspects of my business that I was focusing on at the time. And it was not running smoothly. I was struggling to find the right people in the right positions doing the right things, and it kind of all came crumbling and falling down. Like 100% rock bottom, everything I had built was gone when it came to team, and I guess the word systems would be the right word. And the second I kind of picked myself up off the ground, I started down a path of figuring out the current system I have right now. I was able to replace pretty much 5 people with 1 virtual assistant and automation. And those are the main systems I'm going to be talking about today. So I have my handy dandy iPad in front of me, and I want to talk about all the systems I have in place now. So I have a Sierra Interactive, which is an IDX-based website and CRM, which I heavily recommend having in your life. I've talked about this before, where one of the biggest mistakes in my business was not having a Sierra Interactive website from day one. I've done a lot of comparing of different websites, and this by far has been my favorite. I know there are a lot that are really similar, and I'm sure if we got down to the nitty-gritty, there are some that I would like equally, but the one that I went down the path with was Sierra Interactive. I did have a Sierra Interactive website before. I just didn't have it from day one. So I really wish I would have had it from day one. With Sierra Interactive, so it looks exactly like an MLS interface. So I live in Houston. We have a really beautiful MLS interface. A lot of people either like HAR or they like Zillow, or I've even had people tell me they love my website and it's really user friendly. There are some parts of it that my local MLS is a little bit better, but sorry if you can hear me breathing. It is extremely hot in here. I need to figure out how to keep this room cool without a fan running. But I struggled for so long whenever I would do a trial with different IDX-based websites, and I never found one I liked until Sierra Interactive. So people search for homes, it saves their login information, it sends them alerts. You can set up automation so that if they favorite a handful of homes or they look at a particular home 5 times, they'll send them an automatic email. It's limitless what you can do with Sierra Interactive when it comes to interaction of the consumer on your website. But I love that it lead captures. The blog that's on my Sierra Interactive website has really good SEO. I need to change this so it stops going away. And it's amazing. So Sierra Interactive website, I do send a lot of emails directly through my Gmail. So I have Zapier set up. Zapier is automation. So it's if this then that type of automations. Zapier was the #1 change I made in my business that helped me eliminate a whole bunch of people. So I would have, and I feel stupid for not figuring it out sooner, but Zapier and Sierra Interactive working together with my Gmail was a game changer for me. When I had less employees, I realized what was important and what wasn't important, so that was really big for me. And creating content at the end of the day was my #1 job as a real estate agent when it didn't come to consumer-faced tasks. So showing houses and writing contracts and things like that, those are obviously way more important because they transact to dollars. But behind the scenes, that automation was really big for me. I also use Superhuman. Superhuman is a email interface, but what I love about it is you can save essentially unlimited templated emails And that was really big for us. When we go under contract, we want templated emails that go out that we just have to fill in the blanks. I struggled with Gmails because you can only have 50. And now if I start back over, I probably could transition back to Gmail. But I just love all the shortcuts that you can have set up in Superhuman. It makes using my email so much easier. So I definitely recommend Superhuman. I also recommend Google Analytics as part of one of your systems because I write tons of blog posts. And if I see one performing really well and it's one that can be made for a different neighborhood or a different city, then I go in and remake that. So I've done that a lot where I'm like, hey, this one blog post I wrote a year ago is performing like crazy still today. Let me go duplicate that website for other, relevant topics. So Google Analytics is big. Right now we're seeing about 1 million impressions on just one of our websites every single month on Google, which is really big. And we're having a really good click-through rate. So we're having a lot of interaction on the website just through the blog content, which is amazing. And then also as part of my systems is hiring a virtual assistant. Without a doubt, I wish I would have had a virtual assistant from day one, even if my budget would have only been $100 a week. Virtual assistants are really affordable if you find one in the Philippines. My best friend is pretty much my virtual assistant. She's there for me. We're watching our kids grow up together. I have an ebook, and I'll link it down below, how to hire and train a virtual assistant. Biggest game changer in my business to date. Like, I would not be where I am without my virtual assistant, and I actually have 2 now. Her and her husband work for me. And it really did change my life. Like, my virtual assistant is the #1 thing that changed my life, and I'm forever grateful for them, and I'm just beyond excited that they're in my life. So automation was really big for me. Virtual assistant was really big for me. Sierra Interactive was really big for me. And just getting a clear head with a clear game plan was also really big for me. So those are the main systems in my business. I also really recommend ManyChat if you're building out your Instagram and you want to lead gen that way. I also recommend creating ebooks, so digital products. I have ebooks and guides and what else would you call it besides ebooks? Like, ebooks and relocation guides have been really big for me. I think in 2024, that's something that I'm going to put even more emphasis on in my business because I created all this stuff in the last 3 years, but mostly at the beginning of the last 3 years. And at this point, it might even be 4 years. And so that's something really that I want to reincorporate into my business and really push. Mostly on the marketing side, like, yes, I can update the content, but on the marketing side, I think people really like having something to download and then you're lead capturing. So I think that's something big I'm going to do in 2024. But yeah, systems totally changed my business. Before I had all of this structure built out in my business, it was 2019. I was only on Yelp. I made $300,000 GCI. And I set up all my systems in 2020 when it comes to like creating an online presence, but I didn't actually have the right strategy until the last 2 years. So in 2022, I generated $900,000 GCI. And so that's obviously a big change, 300 to 900. And I contribute all of that to systems and content and having the right strategy. So again, my name is Jo with Jo & Coaching, and I own a real estate brokerage here in the Houston, Texas suburbs. And I am actually teaching and available for hire for this build out. So I'm calling these Omnipresence Marketing Build Outs. And I'm gonna leave a link down below if you want me to build this out for you. This is something that no one is teaching right now. I'm insanely proud of it, obviously. And I think I'm the right person to be teaching it. I know that might seem cocky, but I love people, and I think more people need omnipresence marketing in their life. And what this creates for you is work-life balance so that you can live the lifestyle that you love and deserve. And it allows you to put your family first, which I've never really thought about that out loud before. But my family is the most important thing to me ever. And I want to create a podcast, all of these are video podcasts if you don't know that, but I want to create a podcast talking about my 4 walls because that's going to be the most important thing in your life. I think if you don't tackle business without looking at your personal life, you're making a huge mistake. And so I started in real estate about 8 years ago, give or take. I started getting my license about 9 years ago. And I was naive. I had no help. I was lonely, minus my family. But like in the industry, I felt really lonely, especially the first 5 years. And then once I figured it out, it wasn't as lonely anymore. Every once in a while, I still wish like someone understood and someone had walked in my shoes. It was someone to talk to. But at the end of the day, I have my family and that's enough. I think you grow a lot in your mid to late 30s, and that's where I am right now. And so if you need help, if you need your handheld in creating omnipresence through marketing so that you can live a lifestyle you love, I'm your girl. So Joe with Joe and Coaching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Check out all the links down below. If you're listening over on the podcast on Apple, know that we're a video podcast on Spotify and YouTube, but check out all my contact information down below. I love y'all. I hope you're having a good day. Bye.